Hi guys, Jasmo here, and today I wanted to make a quick FAQ video to answer some of the most frequent questions that you guys are asking me. I'm gonna talk about sustaining maps, I'm gonna talk about POB, loot filter, I'm gonna talk about toxic rain guide and what to do when you reach maps, and also how to check prices and how to craft things, and just gonna basically very quickly go through all of those things because every single day I get a lot of questions about the same things, so I thought this might be a good time to do like an FAQ video. So question number one, how do you sustain burial chambers? So I think 2 days ago on stream I was showing how like my burial chambers tab here was absolutely full and I couldn't pack more maps and I had to put maps in other places. So like couldn't even fit how many burial chambers I had, and at that time I wasn't even doing all of the things that you can do to sustain maps. So there are a few things that contribute to how well you can sustain maps. Number one is the bonus objectives, right? The more bonus objectives you have completed, the better. Try to get it to at least 100 as soon as you can, right? That's number one. If you get it to at least 100, you're gonna be perfectly fine, okay? Number two, watchstones, right? So if I put watchstones here, let me show you. If I put watchstones here and here and here and here, there's one watchstone missing. Oh, here as well. Okay, now we are at our Ayukan level 8, right? If I type here 16, okay, because Burial Chambers is a tier 16 map, natural T16. You can see in every region there is something that lights up, right? However, if I remove watchstones from all the regions that I don't want to run, let's say I don't want to run any of these other regions, right? Now I'm at Awakener level 6. However, the only T16 maps that I can drop are in this region. I cannot ever drop any of these maps. So now suddenly the map pool is limited to only these T16s dropping. And now it's like 8 times as likely to drop Burial Chambers. Now you can improve that even more by picking it as a favorite map. So you need to first do all maps in the region, then do all of the objectives, the bonus objectives, and then do all of the awakening objectives. And that will unlock you up to 3 slots, and you can select burial chambers in each one of those to have it be even more likely to show. If you do all of that, you pretty much can just alken go and run them and you will sustain burial chambers no matter what. However, if for some reason you're still not sustaining maps, or in any case if you're not sustaining maps, the general rule is the more you juice the maps, the higher returns you will have, right? So if you have like a Burial Chambers map, or any map for that reason, for that matter, you put Cartos on it, you put an Alk on it, and you're good. If you really like are on your last map and you really need to sustain that, right, you can make sure it's like higher item quantity, but it doesn't really matter. Like I never paid attention to that. I didn't have to buy a single map this league. So this is what you do. And then if you have fragments, you can run fragments, you can run Scarabs. Another question is that I can address while we're looking at this screen. People ask, which Scarabs do I run? And it depends. It depends on the map, it depends on the region on the atlas, it depends on specific things I'm trying to farm, it depends what I'm going for. But in general, if you want to go for more monsters in maps, then the best sources for that are Legion, that's a really good one. Harby is really good, Elder is really good, Breach is really good as well. If you can't afford Legion, get Ambush Scarab, those are also really cheap, and add a lot of monsters to your maps. So just things that add monsters to your maps, like Rusted Harby, Rusted Elder, Rusted Breach, and Rusted Ambush, let's say. Those are gonna be very cheap. This is gonna cost you like 4 or 5 C for all of them per map, and it is going to pay back for itself. Like if you just drop one map, or that already paid for itself, and you don't need to trade for that map, so also saved you time. So definitely worth using the Scarabs once you get to like T16 maps, for example, right? Like definitely worth using them. If you're not using them, you're losing currency. And then you use sextants as well. You can use just like prime sextants. They're for like how much? One of them is for like 2C and you get 3 of them, right? So for 2C you get 3 of them. It's like 1.1 for 1 of 1. How do I say it? It's like 1.5 sextants per 1C, right? That's how you get it. And another question that people have, so use the sextants and roll mods that add more monsters, right? So you look at this, area contains 8 additional packs of monsters. Area contains breaches. Area contains 8 additional packs of monsters, 8 additional packs of monsters. This is all good to go, right? So stuff like that, stuff that will add you more monsters to your maps, and you're never gonna have trouble with the map sustain. Another thing that people ask me all the time is, how do I price check items? How do I quickly check how much something is worth? So in order to check how much something is worth, I'm using a program called Awakened POE Trade, and I will leave a link to this in the description. Next question that I'm getting all the time is about POB. So one question that people ask is like, hey, can you show the POB for this character, or the character that you're playing right now? Can you show POB for this? You know, what's the POB for this character? All of those questions, you don't even need to ask me. You don't even need to ask my permission or ask me to post anything. You can just import it from my profile. I have a public profile on POE. You can just look at the website. If you just look at Asmodeus POE, right, you will find my profile, and you can just look at the items and look at the characters. And if you want to import it in the POB, you just go to new POB, import, you write Asmodeus POE, you import that, and then you have all my characters. So if you want to see, for example, the character that I played, the Pathfinder, you can see in which league this is, Pathfinder in Ritual. You can import that, you click on this, you click on this, and you have the character. You can see all of the passive skills that I have. You can see all the skills that I have, what are my links, you can see the items, everything. You can just import the profile and look at any character that you want to look that I have currently, right? It's very, very easy. Next thing that people are asking is, hey Asmo, the POB is not working. The link is broken, it's showing me an error. I'm going to the import and I import from Pastebin and it's showing wrong thing, doesn't work. You're probably not using the right POB. You're probably using just generic POB and you're not using the community fork. You need to download the Path of Building community fork. There are instructions on how to get it. It's a simple download from here, and the link is going to also be in the description. So make sure you're using that. All of my POBs will definitely work with this one. So that's what I recommend using, and there will be a link in the description. Okay, next question is about loot filters. So the loot filters that I'm using are always available on Patreon. The link to my Patreon is in the description, and you can look at the different options, right? And one of them, you have available loot filters, so you can always get my loot filter if you're really interested. I put a lot of time into them. Currently I'm maintaining and developing like general mapping filters, so I have like different strictness levels for depending on like where you are at. For me myself, I'm using like the most strict one, which is like the uber strict right now. Also have like very strict, strict, and then leveling filter. The leveling filter features a lot of stuff. It features like, for example, currencies that are showing at certain levels, and at certain levels they're making a sound. At certain levels they're like stopping to make a sound. Like wisdom scrolls and portals stop making a sound, and transmutations stop making a sound, but they still show, and different things stop showing depending on the levels. There are things like, for example, bows, because for crafting we have, for example, these bows that we want to craft, that they are at least level 64. So from level 64 until 75 they show, so you can find tons of them on the ground and craft, try to get your like +2 bow very, very cheaply, just by yourself, no problem. You can easily do that, and if a filter shows that, you're gonna have an easier time doing that. So that's how you can get my filter. Next question that people are asking is about the Toxic Rain build. People keep asking about like, what do I upgrade next? Hey, I'm at this stage right now. How do I upgrade? How do I proceed? Because there is a bit of a gap, I guess, between my leveling guide, which goes up to maps, and my build guide, which explains everything, but it mostly focuses on the end game. So to bridge that gap in between, I'm gonna give you like a couple of very, very simple suggestions, right? So we have the min-max build. Okay, is it not opening? Let's go back. Let's open this one. So The upgrades are basically in this order. Once you get to maps, you want Carcass Jack and you want Quill Rain as well, right? So you want to get the Quill Rain bow, Quill Rain short bow, and Carcass Jack. And you want to get the Prophecy for like 4C that gives you a 5-link, and 5-link your Carcass Jack, okay? 5-link your Carcass Jack and run with the Quill Rain bow, and that's gonna help your damage. Level up your gems. Make sure that you're leveling in the offhand extra toxic rain so that you can get level 21 toxic rain as soon as possible. That's gonna be another big boost. And then after that, the order of upgrades is basically you get a curse on hit ring, so you want to get despair on a ring as soon as possible. Then you want to make sure that you get a decent amulet, like for example amulet with +1 to chaos skill gems, or chaos damage over time multiplier, or +1 to dexterity gems, anything that will boost your toxic rain. And then you anoint on it hardened scars, right? You anoint this thing, hardened scars, and you switch to hybrid flask. Before doing that, you want to use just life and mana flask. And the moment you switch to TR, when you get to maps, is when you can have, let's say, Carcass Jack, when you also have Quill Rain, and when you have Enduring Mana Flask. If you have Enduring Mana Flask, like Enduring Eternal Mana Flask, Carcass Jack and Quill Rain, this is a great time to switch to Toxic Rain. Even on a 5-link, it's gonna get you to red maps, no problem. And then you upgrade things that have like chaos damage over time multiplier, so you can upgrade your gloves to have that, you can upgrade your quiver to have that, and then you just follow what's in this POB. You're gonna be at a pretty good spot. You're gonna have a character that is better than my character right now in the league, so no problem. The next thing, I guess we talked about the sextants, we talked about this. Okay, last question I think here. Yeah, last question that keeps popping out is about crafting. So people keep asking about crafting. How do I craft this thing? Like, what item level do I need? Like, how do you know, for example, that this bow needs to be level 64? Like, how do I know that, you know, to get +2 to gems, I need level 64? Like, do you just like remember that? You simply go to a website called Craft of Exile. Okay, I'm gonna post a link to this in the description as well. And Craft of Exile should be your best friend. You should always check stuff on it. So for example, if I type bow, okay, import base, no, just bow, enter. Okay, so select here, select the bow, and then you look at these mods, right? So here you have prefixes, which are the modifiers that are first, right? And then suffixes, the last. And then you have here +1 to level of bow gems. You can even type level and it will show you, okay, level of socketed bow gems, and it will bring you to this. So level of socketed bow gems +2 requires level 64. As you can see, item level 64. So this is how you can see that, right? This is how you can see how to craft things. For example, if you want to craft something like I don't know, something that is a little bit more complicated, for example, I don't know, accuracy, right? Like which tag can you use to craft accuracy? You can use an attack tag. It has an attack tag. These things are important, like whether something has a chaos tag, whether something has a critical tag, whether something has a lightning tag or whatever, or physical. These are important things for crafting. That's how you find out all of those things. So hopefully this helped you a little bit. Those questions just keep appearing all the time, so I wanted to address that. If you have any other questions, I'm going to be looking at the comment section of this video and answering them for a while as well. So that's it. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to check out my stream at twitch.tv/asmodeusstream, and see you next time.